Hi, welcome to the video. And today Tesla is hitting all-time highs. And I started this live stream because I thought it was going to hit 1,000, but I don't think we're going to hit 1,000 now. But we can actually talk about why Tesla went so high today. So there's actually two major catalysts. Number one is that the rental car company Hertz ordered 100,000 Teslas to add to their fleet. And this is a very, very big deal. So Tesla is on track to sell maybe just about 1 million cars this year. That's my guesstimate. And 100,000 order is that's a lot of cars. That's over $4 billion. And another big reason why that's a big deal is because it's 100,000 Teslas. I don't see any Ford Mach-E's in this order. I don't see any Volkswagen ID4s. It's all Tesla. So where is this famed competition I keep hearing about? This is a company, Hertz is a company that rents out cars for a living. So I'm sure they did all of the best due diligence they could. They thought about all of the factors and they came down to Tesla. Now, just talking about EVs in general, this makes so much sense. EV cars are far easier to maintain. Teslas also have the best 5-star safety ratings. They're safer than most cars, actually, one of the safest cars in the world. It's easy to set up. You can just have charging at your Hertz company. You don't need to go to gas stations. It's just easier on so many levels. Now, of course, Teslas at the moment are still a premium car, so there is a little premium price tag attached to this fleet of vehicles. But in the long term, all the data shows that owning an EV is just cheaper. It's easier to maintain. So it makes so much sense on all fronts. And it also shows a lot of confidence that they think Teslas are going to be in demand. I don't think there's a big question of whether or not EV is the future anymore. Now, a lot of us that are Tesla bulls saw it coming far earlier, but now you can see the opposing voices are starting to die down, and it's starting to become more accepted, and that is reflected in the stock price. Now, another reason why the stock popped today is because Morgan Stanley actually officially upgraded its price target to 1,200. And every time a major finance company or investing company does that, the stock will pop. But again, this is something that if you, as an individual investor, you have an edge because it takes some times for these large institutions to say this because they know they will move the market. So they can't move quite as fast as we do. They can't look quite as far ahead as you and me can because they are beholden to their shareholders. They're beholden to their clients who expect a certain amount of return every single year versus an individual investor like you and I. We have the luxury of looking farther ahead. And now, today, as Tesla hits all time highs, I do want to look back and I don't want to say I told you so to a lot of the Tesla bears. So I'm not going to say I told you so. It'd be really petty for me to just say I told you so, especially when we just went through such a long lull and Tesla could still fall. But yeah, I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna say I told you so. I'm not gonna look back on all these videos, especially let's see when I made my first video. And I'm just gonna be frank with you. This does feel it is some level of vindication, and I even if the share wasn't hitting all-time highs, it wouldn't change my view of Tesla because I'm looking at the company. I'm not necessarily looking at the share price. The share price is slow. It's not going to be a perfect reflection of how a company is doing. And I made a video back in February where Michael Burry said that Tesla could drop 90%. Now, in the short term, he was right in that Tesla did drop a little. And if you are a day trader, you can make a lot of money betting that Tesla would fall and then come back up. But for most people, we are not professional day traders. We cannot predict the future. And Tesla definitely did not drop 90%. Now, this video, a lot of people agreed with me, but then in about January 8th, so in January 8th, this was actually one of my more or most popular videos with 20,000 views and a lot of dislikes. A lot of dislikes. And a lot of people were calling me pretty dumb. Tesla was at an all-time high around this point. It was at 900. So if you invested in Tesla at 900, you probably had some sleepless nights because Tesla dropped as low as 500. So again, Michael Burry had some short term. He had a little bit of short term foresight, but long term, he was just wrong. Tesla has been outperforming the estimated earnings every single quarter. I kept saying that if you are an investor, and even if you invested at the very, very top at that time, you would still be up 10% today. And that's still beating the average of the market. And Tesla is still such a young company. It has so much room still to grow. Even if it's overvalued today, you can't just you shouldn't just look at the short term. I think in order to be a successful investor, you have to have patience and conviction. And that's why when Tesla was dropping, I was continuing to buy. That's why I've been buying Tesla. I bought my first shares in 2012, and the best thing I could have done was actually to forget about it. I was just holding and not really thinking about it, and my conviction actually only started to build up last year. So I was buying Tesla in the 200s, 300s, 400s, 500s, when even then people were saying it was too high already. And maybe on paper, in certain ways of analysis, it is. But it's very difficult to time the market. And because I had researched so much about Tesla, I've had a deeper understanding of where they were going. I felt like I understood Elon's vision despite all of his quirks and eccentricities. It's just paid off very, very well. And of course, I'm very lucky, and all of Tesla investors have been very lucky, and all of Bitcoin investors have been very lucky. But this is something any of us can do. It just takes, again, patience, time, and conviction. So let's look back at this chart. How are we doing today? We are at 988, up $78 today, which is, yeah, that's pretty crazy. And we can look at this year here. Uh, you could have invested at any time at the highs. Imagine if you invest at the lows, at the little highs, at the lows. It goes up and down. To say you could predict whether it would go up or down, it's very, very hard to say. But every time you pull back, you got to look at a multi-year time scale. That any time investing in Tesla was actually a good time to invest in Tesla because it's the right place to invest. In an optimal world, we could time these dips perfectly, but we can't because we don't have a crystal ball. So when you find a company like this, the safest and best thing you can do, in my opinion, is just to cost dollar average in. And the same goes for Bitcoin. Bitcoin, I invested some at 63,000, and that's dumb. It's pretty dumb. I FOMO'd into it. But even Bitcoin, as of today, I'm up on all my holdings because I cost dollar average into it. So I invested some when it was at the previous all-time high of 63,000. I invested some as it was falling back down, all the way down to 30 some thousand. I kept on investing. And the reason I was able to do that is because it's a stock I had high conviction in. So when everybody was scared, when everybody wanted to sell because they saw Bitcoin was dropping, I was buying, and I didn't have any special foresight. I didn't know where it's going to go in the long term. I didn't know where it was going to go in the short term. Just like regarding Tesla, I couldn't have known that it would have dropped from 900 because I was still buying at 700, 800, 900. If I knew it was going to drop to 500, if anyone of us knew, we would have all bought it then, and we all could have doubled. But I guarantee most of us have not doubled Tesla from buying at 500. But the reason I was able to make good returns is because of conviction, because of research, and buying as it's falling. And this is not going to be the way to success for all stocks because a lot of other stocks, if you buy while it's falling, it could never recover. So that's on you to understand and do better research on a company. And yeah, that's all I have for today. When we hit 1,000, or if I think we are going to hit 1,000, I definitely want to do another live and just celebrate with all of us fellow investors because this is a very, very exciting time. There's just so many things changing, and if you just have use your imagination a bit and have certain theories on where you think the future is going to be, don't look at what is happening right now, or what the world as is. Think about the direction it's going, and that's where you should place your attention and where you should place your bets. And for me, it's been on a more electrified future, and also the decentralization of a lot of our currencies and institutions.